is brought to you by Steel. Find your Steel dealer at steeldealers.com.
Well, it looks like Anthony Davis is going to be wearing a different uniform. According to our insider Adrian Wojnarowski, the Pelicans have agreed to a deal to trade Davis to the Lakers for Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, and 3 first-round picks, including the number 4 overall in the 2019 draft. Now, here's the thing. Davis had a player efficiency rating of 30.3 in 2018-19. That is the 3rd highest in the NBA, behind 2 MVP candidates in Giannis Antetokounmpo and James Harden. His career PER of 27.4 is 3rd best in NBA history among those to play at least 300 games, trailing only Michael Jordan and LeBron James. PER is a rating of a player's per minute productivity. And now we got to bring in Zubin, the one and only ESPN's Dave McMenamin, who follows the Lakers and LeBron all the way every day. Dave, your reaction to Anthony Davis heading to Los Angeles to be with LeBron and you guys?
I can't say it's shock. It's certainly a lot to give up, but you know you're getting a lot back. And the entire NBA was reminded of the difference a top-level talent can make, with Toronto being bold and going out and getting Kawhi Leonard and getting the first championship in franchise history. Here you have the Lakers certainly gave up a lot to get Anthony Davis's services, but you bring back a 27-year-old superstar in his prime who has already shown some chemistry with LeBron James and the limited opportunities they've played together. And now we see what the next shoe to drop will be and how they fill out the rest of this roster to try to have the necessary depth to make a legitimate run at a championship.
And Dave, that's where I wanted to go with you next. Rich Paul couldn't get it done in January, but he makes it happen in June, and there had been so much emphasis. Woj was with this earlier and said this had to get done before the NBA draft so they could get those trio of first-round picks in addition to Lonzo, Brandon Ingram, and Josh Hart. So you've got LeBron's salary. You've got Anthony Davis's salary as he eventually heads to free agency in 2020 and likely re-sign with the Lakers. Just take into account the salary that they now have to take into account with LeBron and Davis. What can they do? What can they still afford to do come July 1?
Well, as presently constructed, Zubin, they don't have a full max salary slot available. Now, that doesn't mean that a player who's considered a max-level talent wouldn't take a haircut in order to join the likes of AD and LeBron. But you could see the Lakers break up the max slot that they've been preserving and go after several different pieces to really have the necessary depth they're going to need next year. And, you know, some of the names you could hear and you likely will hear in the coming weeks, guys like Seth Curry, Brooke Lopez, Bogdan Bogdanovic, right on down the list, Terrence Ross of the Orlando Magic. They are going to need to not just have a two-man team. I mean, what you saw out of the Golden State Warriors, what a fantastic collection of talent, but if one of your top-tier guys goes down, you're really at a disadvantage. And so, you know, you could just see LeBron and Anthony Davis as the major stars on that team. Obviously, Kyle Kuzma, retaining him will allow them to have a young up-and-coming scorer with that roster. And then, you know, guys like Mo Wagner and Alex Caruso likely given a chance to be a part of this team as well. But they're going to need to fill out, you know, rotation guys 4 through 7. And perhaps that means breaking up the max contract or the near max
so
they
much
have
more to
remaining open on their book.
Yeah, definitely so much more to break down here. Coming up with this move, the Lakers acquiring Anthony Davis. A lot of expectations in Los Angeles. Dave McMenamin with the Insight. Zubin?
Tony, thank you. Rachel Nichols from The Jump will join us when we return. Nobody's more plugged in with the league's superstars than Rachel. We'll get her perspective on the way on the biggest story in sports. And coming up at the top of the hour, about 12 minutes away, it's a numbers game. Drew Mendoza, number 22, trying to get it done for number 11. Mike Martin, in his 40th and final year at Florida State, the College World Series, is 12 minutes away. We're back on SportsCenter breaking news, the biggest story in all of sports. Rich Paul wanted it in January. He gets it in June. The Pelicans have agreed to trade Anthony Davis to the Lakers for Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, and 3 first-round picks. The NBA draft is this Thursday on ESPN. That includes the number 4 overall pick, which the Lakers got on lottery night. That is the deal. Is Anthony Davis, long expected to be a member of the Lakers, now is playing on the Kings court. Wingmans, we've seen it with Wade and Bosh and Kyrie, the most points per game by a King James teammate. It's a pretty good list. Anthony Davis has outproduced all of them if you take a look at his scoring content in 2018, 2019. And he and LeBron are now forming the new nucleus of the Lakers, and who knows who is to come. TBA, July 1. Nobody has more access to the league superstars than Rachel Nichols. You saw that throughout the NBA Finals, something that LeBron, though Davis, has yet to participate in. Rachel, the deal is now basically done. The ink will be dry once we can get to July 1 and the new league year and all of that. Your initial impression on the Lakers adding Davis to pair with LeBron?
Well, this feels like a really good deal for both sides. I think the earliest it can be completed is July 6th, although there's some wiggle room after that about when they complete the deal, and it'll just kind of depend on when that becomes advantageous, again, for both sides to kind of where they will end up having cap room at what time of the year. But it's done in terms of an agreement, and it's a great haul for the Pelicans and David Griffin, and this is what he was hired for. Basically, his pitch to get this job is, I can get you a team where you are not going to be decimated from trading your superstar away. This is an incredibly promising young core they have. Of course, the luck of getting Zion Williamson is huge for them, and they will be able to build upon that and really be sort of a budding young force in the Western Conference. But, of course, the bigger fish is going on out in L.A. LeBron James needed another big player to maximize his final years of sort of this last third stretch of his career. And it didn't look like they were going to get one of the top level guys in free agency. And so this was really the move for the Lakers. And frankly, because LeBron James is a diminishing asset, because he is a human being who ages, as we saw this year, you get more likely to get hurt as you get older. You can play a little bit less tenacious defense as you get older. None of this is a knock on LeBron. He is just, in fact, human. The longer they waited to acquire a huge superstar to play alongside him, the less they would get out of him. So the fact that he almost basically wasted his first year with them. Now he's got a year where he's going to be turning 35, but having Anthony Davis should juice up that remaining years on LeBron's contract with the Lakers. And Los Angeles is one of the places that Anthony Davis has said, I would like to sign a long-term deal with. So it's not in the bank. He is going to come here and not be obligated to the Lakers for more than that 1 year. He can't sign an extension with the Lakers for the first 6 months against league rules. And his agent, Rich Paul, has said he doesn't intend to sign anything until the following summer. So they'll see how it works. But the reason the Lakers gave up so much is they have at least reasonable assurances from Anthony Davis and his side of the fence that he will sign a long-term deal here. And it not only, as I said, maximizes those final years of LeBron's contract with them, it maximizes and sustains the Lakers because he is young and he is going to be able to be their core as LeBron ages out if he continues to stay here and likes it in Los Angeles.
The Lakers are coming off a 37-45 season, the wasted first year of LeBron, as you called it. I know you do your show, The Jump, essentially across the street from the Staples Center where the Lakers play. The Lakers obviously were humiliated all this year, inside, outside the organization, the drama, the incompetence. This one move today, Rachel, takes the Lakers from where they were to?
Look, we'll have to see. I mean, if this year's NBA Finals taught us anything, it's that trying to predict 9, 10, 11 months in advance what's going to happen is foolish. And it's not that fun, right? Pretending we all know how this is going to work out, I don't get it. I don't know why everyone's in such a rush to do it. The thing I love about sports is that we don't know what's going to happen, that the underdog can win, that circumstances are going to change and then change again, and it's going to be a wild ride. So that is the one thing I will predict, that I expect it to be a bit of a wild ride. There's going to be an adjustment period with Anthony Davis. There's going to be an adjustment period with the young core that is now going over to the Pelicans. There could be injuries that change the whole game. I do know that the West is a whole lot more open than it's been for the last 4 or 5 years. because we know for sure Kevin Durant is not going to play in the NBA next year. So he won't be playing for the Golden State Warriors, even if he's signed to them because of that Achilles injury. And Klay Thompson is going to need a 6 or 7 month recovery period. Now, him I expect to be back by next spring and going into the playoffs, and we'll have to see sort of what kind of player he is. I think that Klay Thompson is made of vibranium, so I think he'll be fine by the playoffs next year, but will be a definitely diminished team than what we've seen for the last 4 or 5 years, and that opens the door up in the West. I wouldn't count the Golden State Warriors out, right? I mean, they still have Steph Curry,
sure.
but it's definitely a much more open scene. We still have to see where the Kawhi Leonard domino is going to fall too before we can predict what does this mean for the Lakers, because Kawhi Leonard comes to the Clippers. As we've seen, you just need Kawhi and a bunch of other good guys. You don't need some other big superstar to win an NBA title. That's now been proven as recently as this week.
It's fascinating, Rachel. I know you're going to be on top of it from the jump from this moment on. We got about 2 weeks to go until free agency. The draft is this
Zubin,
Thursday.
I'm going to interrupt you just for one quick thing.
Sure.
I would say to you and to everyone who is listening right now, I heard you guys in the intro say, hey, Rich Paul got what he was asking for. I just want to keep reminding everyone, Anthony Davis is a grown-up, and this is what he wanted. I have talked to him a bunch over this last year. He wanted to be in Los Angeles, and that is part of why he hired Rich Paul, not the other way around. So
Good.
Anthony is the one who has a house here. He's got a young kid that he would like to raise in California, and we should just give him that agency because this was his decision.
Fair enough. He's a 27-year-old man who made that decision. Great piece, by the way, cover story, Rich Paul in Sports Illustrated, if you want to know more. If you want to know more, The Jump is the place to be every weekday afternoon. Rach, it's going to be a wild ride. Thanks for being with us.
And Zubin, after the Woj bomb we just heard of, guess what? Anthony Davis now relates to the Lakers. That puts them the favorites to win the 2020 NBA title, according to Caesars Sportsbook. Keep in mind the Lakers have missed out on the postseason in each of the last 6 seasons, the longest such streak in franchise history. So, yeah, the Lakers now get a second star to go with LeBron. I mean, something's got to give with the scoring, huh?
No doubt. And for the Pelicans, not to be undone, Zion, Holiday, Ball, Ingram, Hart, and 3 other studs to come. Speaking of studs, the best of college baseball, the College World Series, is up next. Day 1 turns to night 1 in Omaha.